Thank you to everyone that is in the webinar. If you go to AfroEconomics.com, you can actually register so that you can participate live. And I have a lot of my friends. And then you also get invited to everything that I have. We have some callers from 202, 804, 301. That is beautiful. Some people calling, participating from Ohio, North Carolina. How you doing, Ms. Richardson? Ms. Hayes in Virginia. How are you, Elizabeth? How are you, Mr. Robinson? Oh, and Ms. Perkins. Uh-oh, Mr. Craddock, just back in the country. Y'all let me know. One day I'm gonna have to get Major Craddock on online with us. I'm glad you got back into the country, as hard as travel is. Let me know if you're willing to come on live right now and tell us about international. You just came back from saving our country. We want you to come live and tell us a whole bunch of secrets, of international secrets. Yeah, or at least make us feel like you're telling us international secrets. Give us international secrets, Major Craddock, off the secrets that they said that you could tell us. Indeed. How you doing? Jersey in the house with Paula. How you doing, Paula? Jersey Shore. Laura, Mike Rob, my sweetie, my sister Sharona, Ms. White. We have a Wright, and now we have a White in Mr. Miles, Dr. Williams, Dr. Arundel. I feel like we are doing well tonight. Thank you. Our topic, then, it's funny because one day I was talking about why people have they go live and then they take so long to get to the topic at hand. And then this guy said, "Oh, right, you should talk," or something. And I was like, "Oh, wow, I didn't even know." You don't even know that you're doing that. So when I do that, y'all should know that I really do not know that I'm doing that. It's just, you can't help it. Saying hi and all this other stuff. But I really want to talk about what is on the top of our mind, especially as an owner of a registered investment advisory firm. I really appreciate the compassion, the support that all of you have shown me over these last few weeks, knowing what the market has been going through. I just think that it is amazing. People go like, "How are you doing?" And I would say that the major task for me is just to make sure that I continue to keep us in our right mind. You know, like I don't feel that I've had a lot of people, there's been some people who are upset generally over things that we had talked about doing and they just didn't do. Like say you're just going to retire next year and we have been talking about the changes that you need to make, but you didn't make them or things like that. Kind of regret can be frustrating, but also there's a point where we need to just reach a level of acceptance and work on how to make the best out of any situation. So I just have a lot of money ideas that I want to share. Some of them will be appropriate for you, but if you don't articulate to me exactly what you need from me, then I can't communicate that back to you. So especially for those of you who are in the webinar, there is a chat button. Please chat with me. Tell me exactly the question. Allow me to bring you on camera. That would be even better. Ms. Lewis, I know how outgoing you are. I'm gonna bring Pat Lewis on. She would scream, throw down her phone. We'd never see her again. Oh, someone said they heard me on WL. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Thank you. It was fun. Carl Nelson is the best. I had the opportunity to be on there Monday evening talking about a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about. But what I love about the show, and Mr. Jenkins will tell you, is that the callers call in and they ask me questions and it helps me make sure, like, I feel like I've satisfied a need. So one of the first things I want to say with what's going on with the virus, or what you might feel about your job, or what you might feel about your children and them being home from school, or your grandchildren being home from school. We have to just develop a positive mindset and realize that this too shall pass. But the most important part is, and I'm going to do like an emotional intelligence quiz later on. I have some key questions I want you to think about answering, because it's about that emotional intelligence, or that coolness, or that calmness, or that connectedness that we feel, that is going to keep us healthy, keep us positive, and keep us on the right track through this that is called a pandemic. But it indeed could be the greatest mental experience of your life. It could strengthen us and empower us more than any other time, and for many of us in their entire life. I've had a series of things that have happened for us. And for most Black people, from an AfroEconomics perspective, we have been through many pandemics, things that have appeared to be like totally tragic, that just go viral in our life, that we have to mentally stay strong and in control in order to come out on solid ground through it. So that mindset is priority. And then I want to prioritize our bills. If you're one of the many people who are going to be cut back on work, or are going to have to take unpaid time off, or, in different situations, they talk about a lot on the news about people who have these great jobs that have paid time off, or have all of these days that they can take, and, they don't have to worry about it for months and months. But the overwhelming majority of us, this may cut into your pocket. So we have to start and take the time to prioritize what has to be paid. We also want to focus on reducing your expenses, reducing luxuries, reducing entertainment. And that has happened for us. And you know how many times I have talked about like avoiding the casinos, not doing the expensive trips until you're really in a position to do that. You know how many times I have talked about preparing us for times such as this, and now they're here. This is a time for us to really start taking it seriously, the importance of stuffing money away into that emergency fund that you need. So, everybody needs. We just talked about. Definitely. You felt that my microphone went off, but actually I turned it off because I was getting help making sure that my phone doesn't make any more noise. I am like everybody, when y'all log in, you should say, Debbie, make sure you turn off your phone. And I turned off the computer. Everything makes noises now. Goodness, do not hit the notification button. And then also, so we're talking about reducing expenses, reducing luxuries, and then make sure that you get those credit cards in check. If you still have credit card balances, make sure that you reach out to those credit card companies and communicate with them. If you are a person who unfortunately has lost their job, make sure that you communicate that. Let them know there are things that have been set up for this time because of the virus. So if you already see that, if something happens or they cut back your hours, don't wait until you don't have money. Don't pay it now because you have the money. Store up your money, call them, ask for that favor that they're extending, and save that money. That means if they say you don't have to pay because of the virus situation, then they're not going to charge you a late fee, but you still will eventually have to pay it. So you just want to reach out, ask about what their policy is, take advantage of the policy if you need to be saving, and then make sure that you have that money available. But you may have to redirect and take advantage of that so that you can make sure you have housing and make sure that you have food. And then talk to, for many people, millions of people, they have student loans. And that is definitely a concern when you may not be making the same amount of money. Now with the federal government, especially have a federal government loan, now would be the time to talk to them about deferments that they may have for this time period. They just did a notice. I put it on the invitation for the event and the reminder about the no penalties on the if you have a tax liability, but you have to make sure that you acknowledge that you have the tax liability. So if you do the tax return and you don't pay that tax bill, they're saying they will not charge you interest for, I think, 90 the extra days. So they're going to give you 90 days that you don't have to send it in right now. Even if you were going to set up a payment, they're giving you 90 days that you don't have to make that first payment. But we still need to be, if you're at home, you need to be working on that so you know if you have that liability and where you are. And they have also extended that courtesy to businesses as well. You might need to take off like auto debit payments. Like at the vitamin store, I had this auto debit for this pre-workout punch, and I was using it so much that I stopped liking it. And they're still sending it to me. And I had like 2 jugs of it at the office, and like the powder, and you put it in there, you know, and I was like, I don't like it anymore. I don't know if you ever said that. I was like, and now I have 2. I might just take the envelopes and return it. Also, I could actually return those 2 because I'm not going to eat it. And then while they're still in the envelope, and go to the vitamin center and get your money back. But if you have stuff like that, because that was like $40 a month for this powder, you know, that now I don't like it. So I was like, the other day, I was like, let me log in there instead of, I don't have, you know, because sometimes you don't have time like I don't to get into the store. And I figured it out, logged in, turned it off. But the old me would have allowed that to just keep going. So I have like 4 or 5 of them, you know, logged up, you know, and then that are stacked up. Or then also, you know, the other day I was thinking, no, actually, I think that Michael actually brought it up and said, like, are you going to use this tablet? Because I got a tablet for the event. And I was like, no. And he was like, well, we need to take it back to Verizon. And I was like, oh, he's a genius. But it's true because I'm so busy, you know, and it was like, so key point, make sure our team is tight. You know, that you're surrounded by people with that like mindset of making things better, getting things right, getting stuff in order. Especially now, you will recognize the weakest link, and you need everybody on point. You know, and then look out for stuff that's going to start happening. And it's really sad, but I've seen it online already a couple of times about looking out for coronavirus scams. You know, it could be like, this is special insurance, or this is somebody, you know, every insurance is going to cover symptoms related to anything that you have. And now they're saying there's going to be free testing and all of that. So be careful not to buy into, this is a cure and it's come out and nobody else knows about it. Don't believe the hype. No, if you become unemployed, make sure you file the unemployment immediately. Immediately start getting the help. I saw in Virginia, DC, New York, I see all of these announcements about aid to small businesses. Make sure if you're a small business and you've been impacted by that, they're saying that the SBA has loans of up to $2 million that you can pay back over a 30-year term. But and it's saying that there's an interest rate of 3.75. You know, but just be careful because you're dealing with the government on this. But that this is what is being said. There's a coronavirus disaster relief lending program. Small business, you know, for them is different when we think small business, but definitely check it out. Another thing I want us to focus on now is taking care of ourselves, you know, taking care of your mind. If you feel like you need to talk with someone, that it is extremely overwhelming, like, because everybody can't handle this the same way, especially if you see a family member who is like, you know, really depressed or having serious anxiety issues, or not speaking, or they won't answer the phone, or, you know, look out for one another. It's a very important time to think about it. And some people get extremely upset, like they may have their work retirement plan that's going crazy. Please use me as a resource. I have this one minister, and he has referred, like, you know, at least 10 people over this last week. You know, Bishop Harris has, and I thank you, Bishop Harris, if you're out there listening somewhere, to call and just get the help they need, right? And definitely I'm going to be talking about that. Dr. Williams was talking about, like, what we do during our downtime, and that is definitely coming up. And then that KB said, the world needs you, just won't listen to me. The world needs you, just won't listen to me. Oh, no, they don't listen to any of us. But everybody logged in here is so on point. This pandemic is demonstrating, this is from Dr. Williams, that we all need to follow JB's lead and learn to use the internet as our office. I know that's right. You know, I'm so thankful that we had this system set up prior to this, because it was just another day as far as communicating to my clients. Like, immediately, like, my office suite is like ghost town. I go in there, grab a file, go take a file back, you know, come back, and, you know, go to work. But I'm gonna talk to you about that also, like some things that we need to do to be careful with that as well. So, like Dr. Williams is saying, how can we maximize? And that's why I wanted to talk about that coin, you know, creating opportunities and income out of this. So these are indeed scary times, but we do have to make sure that we're taking control of it, and that we are getting all the help that we need to make this situation just a little bit better for you. And if you have, like, been putting off since the fest or all of last year and setting up a time to talk with me, make sure you do it now. Sometimes if you're working from home, it gives you a little bit more flexibility, and we can talk during your lunchtime. So just keep that in mind. Now, here are some tips that I want us to think about. Now, I know that it's like, it's an easy time when you look at the news and it says, today, this is what the news said. Everything that the Dow Jones has gained since Donald Trump went into office, it has now lost. That's what they said on television. Now, what exactly does that have to do with you? Almost like none. Probably nobody in here has their entire portfolio is made up of just the Dow Jones Industrial Average, those 30 stocks. But yet, it is so commonly used as an indicator of the market that without even checking their statement, I will find people who will be so afraid to check their statement just because of the headline on the news. And even though some people, even if that is true, will still be ahead of the game. And I love that my system will show, like, how much profit, how much, you know, earnings you have, not from just that quarter or not just this year, but since the beginning of your investments, where you are, you know. So it helps me keep up with your cost basis, and it can show your gain. So it will, and it also, you know, keeping in mind that you have a lot of things that make up your investment portfolio. So I encourage you, if you have 5 years or more between you and you needing the money you have today, I encourage you to continue to invest for your long-term goals. and not just retirement, but for your long-term goals. Because some of you are in retirement and you're investing for your legacy, for the next generation, but you're making moves like it's for you to eat off of. So if you're investing for a 30-year goal because it's for your children or your grandchildren, then this is an opportunity for you to still seek out good investments. And that's the mistake that people will make. They're going to kind of realize that there's going to be a lot of things that will have cheap prices, but that does not mean that they have value. You see that? The value, the price of something does not determine its value. It's the value of what's inside, how it's managed, how much profit, how much sales growth, how much potential, the value of it. That's what we want to buy. So we want to buy good stuff at great prices. So you want to continue to invest for the long term. And another point there is that you have to understand, those of you who watched my video from CVS on Monday, that time horizon is my kickoff. Like, that is the beginning. So if I'm telling you, I want you to continue to invest for the long term, like, and then you think long term is 1 year, then your time horizon is not appropriate for stocks or stock funds. It is not appropriate for equities. No, your time, if you have a 1 year time frame, you're looking at, it should just be in liquidity. It should be in money markets and cash, or if it has a 1 year term on a CD, it should be just 1 year. And it shouldn't be 1 year in the middle of your 1 year left, and you really only have 6 months left. So know your time horizon. So when you do a risk analysis for me, the computer asks, when are you going to need this money? Because the algorithm brings into consideration the time horizon in giving me a risk score for you. And then consider automating your important expenses. What's important for you? Life insurance. Making sure if you pass away, especially now when we're talking about a virus is going around, have your life insurance in order. Have your health insurance in order. Have your housing in order. No, if you're going into this thing behind, this isn't good. This isn't good. The only thing good about it might be that you were behind and you get into this issue, and then they might let you slide because the government might not allow anybody to evict anybody or foreclose them in this situation. But remember what your important bills are, the things that will really set your family back if they don't get paid, the things that will really financially devastate you if they're not paid. Like, say you can't drive down the street with a car that doesn't have insurance on it, because if you hurt someone or yourself, you're not going to be covered for that. Or the vehicle is damaged, you don't have your insurance together. So these are, important things, but definitely life insurance will come before property insurance. Health insurance will come before life insurance. And and your housing will come before the vehicle. And so we can, talk. I'll be happy to talk to you about, priorities if things have come to that. And then use this as an opportunity, I reiterate this, to save more money. And you're like, well, you were talking about like making less money. Well, a lot of you are going to make the same money because you're not going to lose your job, and you're going to be at that job, and you're going to just waste if you don't think about this. This is an opportunity to say there's nowhere to go. You can't eat out. You can't, so the casinos are closed. So this is an opportunity. If you're still you can increase, if your job lets you go in and go online, you can increase what you're putting away. If you don't know about your allocation, this is a great time to join up for a full financial planning membership of AfroEconomics, because you got the money. I've talked to some people and they gamble away $200-300 a week. So look at everything that you're saving now. Some people were going on cruises that got canceled, right? So, be very careful on with your money, and especially, like, I think that we all, like, I have, some concerts that were canceled or postponed, and we have to be careful and stay up on that, because we might, like, allow our money to still be held there because they're keeping it and they're not giving it back because they want to postpone it, and they're keeping our money. But think about how long they're getting to use our money. And what if they say something stupid, like we have to pay an extra fee or something like that a year later? So we need to make sure we get all of the details on everything. And then it's going to be hard to get. It's going to be hard. They're not going to want to give it up, but we really need to push, like, is there going to be anything? Can I get it in print that you are not going to ask me to do anything else regarding this? That this ticket, if I keep it, I'll let you keep it. Then, if not, we need to get that return on the money. And then develop a village mindset is more important than ever, because there are a lot of people who have children and the schools have closed down. So if we develop a village mindset where, get someone else to help you with your child on this day, because you have to work late on that day, but they have to work late on another day, that, I think that this could be the time where we get back to how much we really need each other to look out for one another. So the KB said, save, he said, a commodity now, and it will save you and your family. It is a tier 1 asset, outpaced inflation. You trying to sell stuff up here, KB? You consistent. He came with KB this time. I was expecting your first name. You still coming with that? At least you are consistent. Can I go back to saving the world with AfroEconomics and you up here selling people things? So automate your important bills. Make sure you know what is important. Make sure you take this as an opportunity to save more. Developing that village mindset. And then also cancel everything that is unnecessary. Is there anything you'd like? I don't know, I missed it. It was like, I got little comments and stuff coming from everywhere. That came from the text message. So cancel all of the unnecessary stuff. Like I was saying about the powder drink that I don't like anymore. Like, cancel anything, especially that automated stuff. Anything unnecessary, we can save more. You can put that into your retirement. Because if these prices, if the prices continue to go down, think about all of the cheap assets that you are accumulating. Like, you might not even have had a job 4 years ago. So this is giving you an opportunity to buy, the same, even if it's just the index fund, the same S&P index with the 500 largest companies in the US. Same thing, and you're able to buy it at old 4-year-old prices. Look at that theoretically. Well, we're really talking about the Dow the most, but the S&P is down considerably as well. But be careful of that, because historical performance is no guarantee of future results. I have to add that disclaimer, but let's definitely look at long-term investment goals that are available to you and save more now so that you can have more hopefully later. So consider, instead of thinking that everything, my portfolio is down, so I better sell it all, consider focusing on your long-term investment goals and leaving your long-term investments alone. No matter how hard it feels, consider leaving your long-term investments that are great, were great just a moment ago. Just know that is highly likely it's just a drop in price because of the virus fears and the economy problems that are anticipated. But that does not mean that it will be like that forever. So let's talk about creating opportunities and income during the time that you may be at home, or you may be, I don't know anybody whose life is like exactly the same, but you may be working at home, or you may be not able to do your job and they sent you home. So here are some things to make sure that you do well during this time. Now, I mean, I can promise you that if you do these things, your mentality will be powerful. You will do better. You will do better. These are the minimum. This is the minimum of what we need to do during this time period. Every day, and I must tell you this, it works. No matter what, you have to promise yourself to get dressed. You are at home. Do not stay in your pajamas all day. Don't let it happen. Do not let it happen. Now, look, you might if at minimum, right? Make sure, like if it's your exercise clothes because you exercised and then you kept going, that's a possibility, but it's not a good idea. What you want to do is get your shower, get dressed, get clean, even though the person may only see you this part up. Make sure you're good to go. Because you don't want to have to slow down your day because you have, I got a video call with JB. Let me get it together. I got a so-and-so and so. Like, I'm now having more video calls than ever. And it is amazing how many times I speak with professionals and they're like, they don't feel that they are presentable. Now, I can get it at 8 o'clock at night. Y'all might not feel like that, but I feel like right now, I really would love it for you all, especially on our members only meetings on Fridays at 9 o'clock, to start making a habit to say, hey, JB, I'm ready to come on camera today. I just think that it can help us close that technology divide if we're always camera ready. And that doesn't take that much. Comb the hair, put on a shirt. That's it. That's it. No makeup requirements, nothing. It's about grooming. That's it. So just being presentable, taking yourself seriously is going to help us develop the mindset that this situation has not slowed us down as a professional. A second point is to create an office in your environment. It doesn't have to, you don't have to oh my God, my house is too small. No. Create an environment. Take a section like I do. I take a section of my kitchen, and then my daughter has a section of the kitchen, and we get in work. That's how I do it. So just have a designated area that is away from the bed. Do not allow yourself to stay in the bed, in the pajamas. You need to create a work zone for yourself. A third point is to stay in touch. Stay in touch with your office. Say you're a teacher and you've been kicked out, but they closed down the school. Stay in touch with your students. Stay in touch with the parents of your class. Don't hide from your connections, from your community, right? Check on the people that you work with. Definitely check in. If you have a supervisor, check in with them. Over communicate with your counterparts. Make it a point to be, dressed, do professional things, send out professional emails, be proactive, stay in touch. And if you have your own business, stay in touch with your customers. I have to. When things like this happen, I am more in front of you. I don't hide. And too many people do it. A lady who just joined up, she was saying that where her account was, that the financial advisor called her and he was upset and, crying and, sounding all pitiful and talking about the market, and he'd never seen anything like this. And the guy was 30 years older than me almost. So, and then she was, he had been, I guess, you never know, just because someone's older than me does not mean they've been in the business as long as me, because I started in it so young. So, just because they're saying they're older, and it's funny because I remember when I first became a stockbroker, This guy was like in his 70s, retiring from his job. And he said, it is amazing how many people assume that I've been doing this a long time. So anyway, she was like shocked that this man was so upset about the stock market. She was like, she had to calm him down. And she was like, because of his excitement and being so emotional like that, she knew it was time for her to grow on and get somebody else. I was like, that is funny, but smart. To her, it was like, he wasn't emotionally intelligent as emotionally intelligent as she felt that he should be at that time. And I would agree. We should not, we should know better. Indeed. So then a fourth point is taking care of your health, making a point to carve out time each day for us to stay active. And this has already become a challenge for me because I usually get up, go to the gym. They closed my gym. So now I have to, because I'm a creature of habit, get into making sure that I still get moving. And this is crazy. So tomorrow's Thursday, and I've made a commitment that, I don't have the appointment. I can't meet with the trainer, but that's all right. You got a gym in the house, work out, no excuses, keep it moving, get back on my 3:50 a.m. But I had to force this on me. And that's not going to be hard because it's like your body will quickly shift, in a matter of days from, okay, I do this to back to crazy habits. And it will kill us if we sit too much. And making the decision that I want to work more from home through this crisis made me realize how much I sit down, because at the office, I'm moving around, going to the conference room or standing up, making a point to stand up, even if I'm not on my bike desk, that's right, I'm standing at the bike desk or I'm standing at something. But when you're at home, we have to make sure that we take care of our health and we move more. I'm gonna have to get some sort of alarm to make sure that I stand up, get up, because I have such long conversations. And then a fifth point is focus, create structure, create boundaries. Don't allow, personal issues to come right into the middle of your day. I have calls. And then in the middle of today, I had a family call. And then I stopped. It took at least an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Because we started doing these family issues, but I had no idea that was going to happen. And then I had to get back on track, but I should have said, as soon as I discovered, oh, this is personal. Oh, can I call y'all back and we do this later? But no, no boundaries, fell right into it, fell right off course, and tomorrow I will have to make up because I lost focus. I did not honor my own structure. And my daughter has set up for her day on what classes she has to do and what time. And she does and practices her instruments and stuff like that. Now, the thing for me to do is to encourage her and help her stick with that structure, to stay in her boundaries, because it's, as you know, it's easy to do it for a day, but you have to do this consistently in order to reach that ultimate level of success and to make sure that this takes you to another level of discipline and income. We can do better during this time if we learn from it. And I want us to also realize how blessed and empowered you are to have the opportunity and the option for you to work from home. I have so many people who don't have a job that offers that flexibility. And we should realize when you do have that opportunity, that option, and the opportunity to do that how it is a great opportunity, and that how much more business you could be doing. So say after this, you work from home the next 4 weeks, and then now you have that home office area, you have all that set up. Now, when you go to the office, you work. You come home, and even if it's just Saturday, you can make extra income in that spot because now you know how to operate that business. Now you know how to make it flow. Now you know how to have structure. You know how to set it up, how to keep your boundaries, how to do things. And during this time also, I encourage us to make sure that we continue to eat clean, make sure that we stay healthy. That I know there's this push towards having all of this canned food, in the cupboard, but I really like, that is like the worst part of this is the thought of me having to eat a canned food or a carton food. Like, I like fresh food. Limit your sugar, limit, anything that you know that is not good for you, and let's focus on real stuff and cooking for yourself. I mean, I don't even think it's like really the healthiest idea for us to be buying out at this time. They just haven't said like, but they keep telling you like it's airborne and stuff like that. And today I got like some Arby's, and it made me think, I was like, I'm really not gonna do this anymore, but I just wanted to do it today. But I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, because every time we do that, like, your food is even exposed to much more. We're talking about personal space, but then it's okay for us to get food out. They just don't want to say it. I think they don't want to shut down the whole industry, but they know we shouldn't be doing it. And then the drive-through or not, right? So the power of just having a positive mindset, and that mindset, but a positive vision. This is the time for us to visualize ourselves on the other side of this, how we're going to benefit from this, how all of this is going to come back. Anything that you've lost, you have to visualize yourself getting through this, just like we got through the Great Depression, just like we got through 9/11, just like people got through the Depression, just how we got through the, civil rights movement. We are overcomers. We have done this. Anybody know how to create positive visions is us. And we have to go back to that mindset that we create the world that we deserve. You have to see ourselves getting ahead. We have to see ourselves winning from this. We have to see our children being empowered through this and learning and being more disciplined and not being set back and taking this as an opportunity. I tell my daughter, take this as an opportunity to get ahead, to study for your AP exams, to use this as a great opportunity that has just fallen in your lap to take care of you all day long. So then also, this is when we have nothing but your voice and your face in order to create income or to use as a communication tool. Think about the practice of when you're just trying to do all of your business or commerce over a telephone. Like when I started in the business, all I had was my voice to communicate to these people that I am worthy of you coming in here with your life savings and talking to me about, so that when you're in a working at home environment or trying to create commerce through e-commerce or using video if you have it, and if you don't, it's all about the telephone. Use this as an opportunity to improve your voice, to improve your communication, to improve your confidence overall. Use this as extreme practice of developing your communication skills. And then you'll take them back into the workplace or wherever we go from there. And this also is an opportunity to become a computer geek. Like, you can become so good on computers during this time, because now you have time to talk to tech support, fix your own stuff, build your own systems. Check out, like, I have a printer that the Wi-Fi isn't working right with, to address that printer problem, to address the whole home network issue. Like, you can become that computer savvy person. Like, being It's funny when I talk to people and they go, you know what? When you go back to work, talk to your computer person. And I laugh at them. Although I am the computer person. And there are very few people when it comes to like setup and wiring and things like that, that can outdo me. Like, I do understand that. Like, and if given the time, because I've been forced to do it, no, I can work it through. But and you know I'm powerful when I can get to someone that really knows what they're doing. I know exactly what they're talking about. Because sometimes you have to do this stuff in order to understand even the tech support. And you make it easier for them to do their job because you know what they're talking about. Right click, left click, window or drop down or, whatever it is, sharing the screen. And so I like that we do these discussions because it's helping us we're closing that technology gap. Because as Dr. Williams said, this is the way that business is going to be done. And then as we close, we draw closer to the end, the emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is so important now. Like, these are the questions when you want to know how emotionally intelligent you are. I want to know, like, can you say yes to these questions or no? Like, all right, but what is your emotional intelligence? One of the questions I saw, and it was like some psychological test, you can look it up, like say emotional intelligence quiz, and they have them out there. And it said, I can recognize my emotions as I experience them. Like, you're in tune with yourself. Are you? A second point, do you lose your temper when you feel frustrated? And then also, have people told you that you're a good listener? And then a fourth question, do you know how to calm down yourself when you feel anxious or upset? And is it hard for you to focus on something for long periods of time? And do you find it difficult to move on when you feel frustrated or unhappy? Like, do you just fester over it and you can't let it go? And then, do you know your strengths and your weaknesses? And are you one to avoid conflict and negotiations? And and then people, like, hear people and they'll say, you see, because I just want to avoid conflict. I just avoid conflict. No, really, they lack emotional intelligence, because solving a problem and negotiating through it is not, that is life. There is always going to be a difference of opinion. And if you know how they'll go, oh, forget it. That is not a business person. In business, you have to negotiate. That is something that we have to get control over. And then, do you feel that do you not enjoy your work? And then, do you ask people for feedback on what you do well and how you can improve it? I don't have to ask. Everybody tells me, do this better, girl. Look, but I think it's because they know I can handle it, and they do not. Because I love it when somebody gives me feedback. Because it helps me grow. I don't, but there are some people, if you give them feedback, they will not like you anymore. Like, how dare you tell me that was blah, 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 and they will be mad at you. Like, I know some people in business that have been mad at me for my entire career because I told them, my truth in my 20s, and they still like, I don't like no Bryan. How dare she tell me what she thinks? I was in a meeting and I was saying like that they were doing, bringing in people, and I was like bringing in businesses, and it was a Black business group. And I was like, well, you know what, the least you could do is bring in Black businesses if you're looking for something for the group, I think they were looking for life insurance. And I was like, well, there's a whole bunch of Black businesses like my own that do life insurance. So if you're looking for a group life insurance, don't you think that we should start with N at first? They looked at me like I was outraged. I mean, like, what would you come up with that crazy idea that we should actually help ourselves? Oh, it was sad. Never liked me after that. Oh my goodness. And then emotionally intelligent. So they are not emotionally intelligent. But if I had lost my mind in asking them and said, what you doing? Then I would have had the same issue. But then, so do you find it difficult to read other people's emotions? And we need to be able to do that. You need to know when it's time, like, okay, they're in a bad mood, yeah, they're, or they're really upset about this. But, if you can't, then it's going to be hard to prosper in business, because everybody has a bad day sometimes. So sometimes it's like, you know what, back off, because they're having a bad day. And then you might find out later that their dog died or their cat died. So, don't just, be so quick to judge. When you read the emotion, receive it, and then investigate before we judge. And do you struggle with building rapport with others? Is that hard for you? Are you the type of person that go, oh, you've never met a stranger? Or do you like warm up quickly, like, with people? And, the emotional intelligence will help you warm up and build a rapport with others. And do you use active listening skills when people speak to you? Now, are you really listening to them? You talk to some people and they're like, and they ask you a question. And then they're like looking all around the room. And you're like, why in the world did they ask me that question? They just blurted out something, but they're not really listening to you, because they are not emotionally intelligent. They do not understand how seriously people take their own question, obviously. So emotional intelligence for many of us is the key to our failure or success. Because I must say, like, as a young professional, I would spit out my truth and I would have no idea how they were going to interpret it. Now, when I spit out my truth, it's because I already know how you're going to respond. And I want you to respond that way. I don't care about your response, but if I do, I'm going to be more careful on how I share my truth. And I am. So, but emotional intelligence is knowing the difference, knowing how you're going to respond. Like a lot of times, and people, not to be political, but people assume that Donald Trump doesn't have emotional intelligence. But just because you make people mad doesn't mean you don't have an emotional intelligence. Just means that their anger doesn't matter to him, possibly. So with all of this, it's just about being careful on how we interpret things, and how we interpret it and how we actually get that score. But the most important thing for us to know, that good or bad, understand how you're communicating and how it's going to be interpreted, and then, being able to handle the response. So our emotional intelligence, our mindset, impacts our financial decisions. Because if you're not emotionally intelligent and you just go crazy and you can't think, you can't calm yourself down, you don't know that you're just going through anxiety and you sell everything you've got and you're not retiring for 10 years and you don't even think about the impact of what you did until the day later. This is very important, that we know how to calm ourselves down and keep ourselves in tune with we cannot take every headline personal. Just because someone got the virus that might live on your block even, it's not you. And then our professional choices matter on our mindset and our family and our relationships. are impacted by how much control and how much emotional intelligence that we have, especially during times like this. So be very careful on the steps that you take, the decisions that you make. Be very careful. I'm gonna go and look at some of your questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth said negotiation is her middle name. I love that. Larry says fill up on berries and veggies. Oh, you so good. Yes, indeed. And then a lot of people who are not emotionally intelligent, and yes, it is very sad. Yes, indeed. People be in their own way. Isn't that that is so true? So true. My dad used to say 99% of the problems that we have, we create ourselves, right? Elizabeth says, how can you gain emotional security if you're struggling? Now, emotional intelligence will really lead to your emotional security because your decision to struggle is part of our emotional intelligence. It's how we're viewing what we're going through in life. Because, like some people view my life as a struggle. She works all the time. JB ain't gone on no vacation. She ain't on no cruise. She ain't gone on no cruise. Oh my goodness. You work too much. You ain't take care of yourself. You so and so and so. I heard all that, And some people would look at me and see a whole different person. They would see, like, especially if you knew me well, Larry would tell you, JB is one happy camper, right? My sweetie would say, my baby is happy. That girl is happy, So emotional intelligence is how you actually see yourself, and if you decide, like, because everybody can see all of those different opinions of me, but I know I'm happy. I know I celebrate every day the blessing of being able to live out my dream. A young lady told me the other day, she said, because of you, JB, you inspired me. I am going to pursue a career in theater and acting. What else can I expect? What else can I ask for in life than to be in a position to inspire someone else to be everything that God put them here to do? But so Elizabeth, you have to see the same thing in your life, in your struggle, in our struggle, as some would say, as Black women. Not to not acknowledge the fact that things are hard. Ain't nobody giving us nothing. But the same would go for the Black man, and the same would go for the Black child, and the same would go, but look at how much we've conquered. Look at the emotional intelligence that it requires to see the opportunities in this world that we've been given, even with the coronavirus biting at our butt. We continue to move forward and look for opportunities and how we can be successful in spite of it, and how we can use it to our advantage. So Denise says, I presently have life insurance. However, how can I get more information on yours? Oh, just inbox me, email me, girlfriend, at jb@jbbryan.com. Assalamu alaikum, Ms. Muhammad. And then Paula says, I snuck out after the 8 p.m. curfew to get food. It's nice to have this seminar. I didn't get berries. I got ice cream and Hot Pockets. Oh, Paula, that's just bad in so many ways. Larry, talk to your girl, Paula. No packaged food. You are so bad. Look, Larry would have made you some vegetables and stuff and berries. Larry talking about vegetables and berries, and Paula up here. Oh my goodness. Ms. Perkins says, you do you, not someone else, and be happy. And that is great advice for Elizabeth. Elizabeth, Don't allow anything to stop us from seeing the joy that God has put into every day. I mean, it's there for us, and it is a struggle, but our emotional intelligence, our relationship with God will allow us to see through all of this and see how beautiful the day is, and see how protected we are, and see how somebody didn't make it, so obviously God has something else for us to do. Josette said, I will get dressed each day, JB, and stop with the pajama ministry. That's right. Please do it. I'm telling you, it will help you so much. Send me a picture too. Send me a picture, Josette. Email jb@jbbryan.com of you outside of your pajamas. Yes, indeed. Major Craddock said, JB, I gotta go. I'll call you tomorrow. Thanks for the invite. Thank you, Major Craddock. Thank you for watching. You did it. I can't believe he did an hour. We are phenomenal. Bye. If anybody can do an hour of talking about your financial goals, you can do anything. Mr. Jefferson says, same rules for working at home applies to working from home to get a job. Isn't that true? And I remember when you didn't have that job you have now, and you would still log in, and you were still on the hustle, and you still came to workshops, and you still were doing it, yes, and you still were dressed and taking your career and future seriously. And we have someone that says, I have a government employee and I lost like 20,000 in the TSP. I want to retire soon. Do I keep it in or change? Definitely call me. You know, you have a lot of people in your same position, and we need to talk that through. I would love to have met you before, but let's talk about that. My number is, because 20,000 might not really be a big percentage. It depends on how much you have. You know, we need to, and then you might say soon, but soon might not be tomorrow. So let's talk, or call me at 1-844-522-7926, or just reply to that, and my assistant will call you tomorrow. Well, thank you. A comment from Samsung. Someone with the Samsung G900V. All good advice. Well, I'm glad. Thank you so much. You all are wonderful. Thank you. I hope that this helped. The bottom line is, I just want us to keep moving. I want us to stay inspired. I want us to stay focused on our long-term goals. If you have some short-term goals and you're worried that this has devastated what you need to do within the next couple of years, we really seriously need to talk about that. We really need to seriously talk about it. Once you talk to someone, sometimes just talking can change your entire perspective on life. Like with Elizabeth, I'm hoping that talking to her will help her realize how much control we actually have over our whole perspective on life. You know, I talk to some people sometimes and they're really upset because they never had a child, and they, feel like they haven't done things in life, and they aren't where that they should be, and they haven't, and they feel like it's over and things. And then I'll talk to someone the same age that doesn't have a child, and they have a totally different perspective on life. You talk to someone with, two good legs, and they're perfectly miserable. You talk to somebody who no legs, both of the legs got cut off in a motorcycle accident or something, and they are still happy, and riding the scooter, and doing everything they can to adapt to that situation. So, I'm not saying that we should not be passive and we shouldn't recognize our challenges, but I'm certainly saying that you're not going to win my mind and you're not going to make me miserable because of external situations. I mean, I'll give you a few, I'll give you a minute, but we have to create the reality that we want. We have to build this thing for ourselves. Thank you, Dr. Williams. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Coates. Definitely we need to talk soon. Indeed. Let's stay focused. How you doing, Ms. Hayes? Thank you. Don't forget, Friday morning, our members only meeting. Always know that we have a free membership level. Membership is about financial empowerment. And if you want to upgrade and have the financial services and planning and our quarterly meetings, then do that when you're ready. But until then, take advantage of our members only meetings. And I'm sorry some of y'all missed the members only luncheon, but we got to see each other and we have a wonderful, beautiful group of members. Oh, you had a good time, Ms. Muhammad. That's so good. Ms. Muhammad came. He learned so, oh, wow. Oh, and she said, I am truly a real sister. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Robinson said, JB, you might want to remind people when you, I know, but Carl called me on, I think it was Monday or something. It wasn't long. It wasn't long. He got me like that. I was like, all right, I'm on, you know? But yeah, I would love to have some time. So hope one day, let's claim it, that I'll be a regular guest. Thank you, Mr. Joe. I'll be a regular guest and I'll be able to tell you exactly when but I will tell you, I will be on CBS Virginia this morning on Monday. I'm glad you heard me. On Monday, I'll be back on the Virginia This Morning show, and I will save that. I will share that video as soon as I can. And Josette, thank you. You were really great. Thank you. And this is being recorded, and I'm going to share it on our YouTube channel at AfroEconomics with JB Bryan. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, and the Facebook page, JB Bryan, AfroEconomics with JB Bryan. And remember, February 2021, AfroEconomics Fest. Hopefully, they'll come back to me with we can get in for Black History Month. Good night, Monica. See you all soon. Claimed and spoken into existence. Visualize it. Yes. February 26th, 27th, 28th of 2021. It's been said and done. Amen, Elizabeth. I love y'all. How you doing, Miss Pollard? Holding it down in DC, our nation's capital. Thank you. Hey, Rhea, thank you for doing the Teen Summit. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. Be good to one another. I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics, hashtag AfroEconomics, and also hashtag JB Bryan. You all be good. Talk to you soon. Good night, Ms. Perkins. Good night.